You know what time the game starts? All right, here we go, fellas. Let's have a little fun today. Is anybody else tired or is it just me? I got some advice for y'all. Take 2 weeks off, then quit.
From the goal line to 5 to 10 to 15. Through a hole to the 20, to the 30, outside to the 40. He may be gone. 15 to the 40, the 30, the 25, 20, the 10, 5. Touchdown for Desmond Howard.
Desmond Howard gets a lot of love on this show, Schoberg, just throughout the entire Packers worldwide. But I'm Matt Freilich. That's Ryan Schoberg, tuning in with the last final seconds here of the first half. Another disappointing run defensive performance in the first 30 minutes. We'll see what changes in the second half. But Schoberg, first and foremost, first quarter reactions. What are you thinking? What's your thoughts so far?
First quarter was interesting. Like you said, going into the show, it was kind of a tale of two quarters here. Silver linings, Green Bay hasn't played the best, but it looks like we might go in, knock on wood here with a Hail Mary attempt. Might go into the half with a lead, but got him to jump. Matt Stafford. All right, so we're about to go to another play here, but
unbelievable.
Unreal. But yeah, tale of two quarters. Tackling in the first quarter was awful. Preseason didn't look like the defense came with any juice. Got him into a second medium range. Z made a play to make it 3rd and long. He got a face mask, extended the drive. Detroit scores the touchdown. We know how that went there. What do you think, Matt? What's maybe a first quarter reaction?
Dude, I don't know. Just no run defense. And they started with Kerryon Johnson, which I thought was weird. And they sub in AP, and now they're sprinkling in the rookie DeAndre Swift, towards the end of this half here. But, I mean, just no run defense. They're going to attempt, apparently, a 72-yard field goal. That's,
how long is this?
Can't confirm or deny. That is a 57-yard field goal.
Oh, it looks a lot longer from this perspective.
I thought it was – it probably is not as long because of that they got him off sides there. Wide right, we're good. So we'll go into the half,
all right.
up 17-14. And it's just, again, dude, it's the same thing that we talked about last week. They're almost reminiscent of each other versus the Vikings, besides the 2 turnovers the Packers are forced last week with the safety, turnover on downs, and then the pick. But without that, I mean, it's just frustrating. No run defense. Obviously, we knew there'd be an issue without Kenny Clark in there, right? That was kind of going to happen. Then Lancaster gets banged up, but just – they're just gashing them, and then it's opening up opportunities for Marvin Jones, TJ Hawkinson, or DJ Hawkinson, depending who you're talking to. The Fox guy said that. So, offense looked okay. I mean, you and I are both watching the last minute. Poor Will Harris out there getting 30 yards worth of penalties, just back-to-back plays. I don't know if those were legit penalties or not, but I mean, second quarter looked a little bit better to me, at least.
I agree with that one. Going off of your run defense comment. Who is going to play defensive tackle? Tyler Lancaster went down. Not sure if he came back. I had to unplug the game here to jump on this for the last minute, so I was trying to be in and out. But Matt Stafford's been doing a wonderful job of just taking what the defense has given them. They're calling a lot of runs, rightfully so. They're getting a lot of those big lanes up front. But then when they're asking him to throw the ball, he's being pretty conservative with it, not forcing it in places, not forcing it down the field, taking a lot of those 12-yard and in routes. But Matt Stafford, I commend him for the first half that he just played. But now that defense for Detroit has to try to get off the field as the tides kind of turned there in the second quarter.
Most definitely. Stafford's such a baller, man. He's just such a gamer. Gets tweaked a little bit there. I feel like it's just there's not a Matt Stafford game where he's just it's like Phillip Rivers. You can kind of what you're going to get out of him. Fourth quarter, 4 minutes left, they're down by 6. Stafford, I feel is always in the pocket, a little bit of happy feet. Gets banged up at some point during the game and just still's out there slinging the rock to his weapons. But before we get too far into the weeds here, what are you drinking, man? Are you drinking anything today? Are you sipping water, a little tea, what do you got going? Do you have a beverage in front of you at all?
I don't have a beverage in front of me, but right before this live started, I was about to go to the fridge and judge me if you want. I was going to grab a Truly lemonade.
Hey, no judge. Right here.
Right here. But yeah, as soon as the
light seltzer,
as soon as the intro video was playing, I thought about it again, and I'm like, well, it's a little bit too late for that, so I don't have a beverage in front of my hand. But feel like we have to go around the division a little bit, get to that Colts-Vikings game. It's another game that I have on here in my living room. I said Jonathan Taylor, 125 and a touchdown. And right now he's got like 75 and a touchdown and a couple catches. So, hey, we're getting there. Those odds would have paid me a lot of money if we could have got that at a legal betting service. But Phillip Rivers playing a little bit better than he has in years past against the Vikings. And Kirk Cousins took another safety today and has thrown 2 interceptions in the first half. So there's your little Vikings catch up. Bears were leading the Giants last I saw. Saquon Barkley, not a good injury, not good for Matt or my fantasy team.
What are the odds?
But yeah, that's kind of your live look in. And then we have Lions Packers. What's some other things that you took from this first half, Matt?
I would say in this first half, it's just it kind of reminds me of the first half of week 1, like a little bit out of sync offensively, some bonehead mistakes here and there. The drops from the tight ends, I think, were number 1, right? I mean, that was just what started it. And everyone's just, Mercedes Lewis is going to catch the ball, but he's not going to get any rack. Sternberger's probably going to have a 20-yard run. I mean, Tanyan's was contested, but still, like, he does score that touchdown, to put them up. But still, it isn't the best here. We got a couple comments coming in. Ryan Bowman, founder of Packers Worldwide, you know him, friend of the show. Does Mike Pettin make it to 2021 as the Packers DC? Wow, that's harsh. I would say at this point you'd have to say no, right? I mean, but the other side of the coin is like he does get a leeway considering they don't really have anyone defensively in there on the line. Plus Kenny Clark's out. Like, let's not overreact a little bit. But your thoughts to Ryan Bowman's comment there, Schoberg?
So I don't know if it was Bowman on Twitter or someone else in the first half. Saw a great comment. The more the Packers defense changes, the more it stays the same. Doesn't matter what names are in there, what talent they bring to this defense. I feel like I've been watching the same exact thing since like 2006, with the exception of the Super Bowl year. That's it. That's the only time they've had like a real true top 10 defense. Will he make it to 2021? If it continues to look like this, and they did play well in the first half last week, I thought. They just got gashed. A lot of people say, oh, they went to the prevent defense, but they really did. They played a lot of too high, didn't want a lot of things to get behind them. That's when the Vikings started scoring a lot. But if they keep giving up points at this rate, a lot of yards to the Lions here, I don't see how you can keep him around and really justify it.
For sure. A few more comments coming in here. One quick around your Ryan Schulberg update. Cousins took another safety. Rob's pretty jazzed about that one. Friend of the show, as always, Gary Beatty chiming in. Cowboys getting killed. Yeah, I saw the score at the end of the first quarter, Gary, like 17-0. Like, I got a buddy of mine in fantasy that we're all chirping in our group me message, and he's a Cowboys fan.
Ooh, there's that Barkley injury.
Yeah, not good. Not good. You can see that over my noggin there. But Barkley very upset with himself. Couple of comments coming in from Gary Beatty, our buddy here. Packers not sharp, overthrows and drops. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what we had in the first half of last week. That's what I was saying. Like, it's just the inconsistencies yet, and now it's not just MVS. It's a couple other the tight ends and receivers. Alan Lazard coming with big. Let's not get too negative here. Aaron Jones with the touchdown. Nice to see. Offensively, a little more creative again this week. Not as much of the jet sweep or the fake jet sweep, but a little bit more deception and kind of letting Rodgers dink and dunk a little bit.
Off that point there, I love how they're using Tyler Ervin in this offense. I think he's only touched the ball once or twice in the first half, but they are using him as a decoy, like every third or fourth play. And every time he's in there, he's either a decoy or going out on a route where it kind of sucks a guy in and gets another guy open. I love how they're using Tyler Ervin in this offense. So let's not go all negative on the defense here. There is still a lot of motion on the offense like that. Gives Rodgers an opportunity to really see what that defense is doing as far as sitting back in his zone or playing man, things of those sorts. And then the first drive, a couple things that really stood out to me.
Yeah.
You really, really want Jay Sternberger to take that next step. And he had a ball that probably would have gone for about 20 to 30 yards down the field, wide open, literally a 5-yard little dunk, and he dropped it. He just turned and started running before he caught the ball. Very disheartening for me. That led to a third down fail to Tanyan. Tanyan kind of dropped the ball. That ultimately led to a fourth down conversion by a trusted guy, Alan Lazard. But in order to be trusted like Alan Lazard, Tanyan, Sternberger, you got to start making plays on the two prior plays before that.
Most definitely. And I was on a podcast earlier this week recording, and I was asked key player on offense, and I said DeGuara, and that was before I even knew he was going to be out for the game, right? So now it's like Sternberger's got an opportunity to not be overshadowed by the rookie like he was a little bit last week. And I mean, that's a rookie mistake, to be honest. Like you're wide open, right? Like you got to catch the ball, then turn up field. And it's easy for us to say, right? Because we can look and be like, oh, he's got 15 yards ahead of him. But like, he doesn't know that he's probably trying to catch the ball and going to make someone miss or shake a guy. But yeah, he's got to catch that ball. Tanyan's was a little tougher, but you would think him or Sternberg would make some opportunities right now, considering DeGuara's out of the game, and you're not going to get a lot of offensive stuff out of Mercedes Lewis other than a catch, a fall down, and then a couple good blocks here and there. But as we progress here through the halftime show, what's so funny? What do you got going over there?
I'm looking through the box score and listen to this first half for.
Hit me with it. What do you got?
Matt Stafford and Aaron Rodgers. Both are 12 of 18. Matt Stafford has 129 yards. Aaron Rodgers has 127. Matt Stafford is averaging 7.2. Rodgers 7.1. Rodgers has 2 touchdowns. Stafford 1. So a nearly identical half for both quarterbacks. And I think we've been playing off this whole halftime show. But tale of two halves. Stafford absolutely owned that first quarter. Rodgers was a little bit shaky, maybe off the fingertips of a couple guys, but he could have put it in a better spot. And Rodgers kind of took over that second quarter, and now they're sitting in an identical spot as far as statistics go. Just a couple other things that are sticking out to me as I'm scrolling down the box score. TJ Hawkinson's really becoming a focal point of this Lions offense. You honestly, you hate to see it as a Packer fan, but he looks like George Kittle 2.0, just the way he runs, the way he catches. You were talking Yak earlier. Yak machine there. And then Adrian Peterson 100%. Averaging 7 yards a carry, ho-hum against the Packers defense. Whenever he comes to Lambeau, it's probably going to be a long day. So anything else, Matt, that is really sticking out to you?
Which is unbelievable. I mean, Hawkinson I expect to beat them up. And I thought maybe with Galladay out, he wouldn't get as much opportunity, but he's still a matchup nightmare for the Packers. An athletic tight end who can run after the catch, like you said. And he's just – I would expect for them to kind of get into that offense and kind of lean into him a little bit more. Continually run the ball. Like, don't stop running the ball. And apparently, Adrian Peterson, doesn't matter if he's on the Vikings, the Redskins, now the Lions. Like, he can just pound the rock and basically dominate the Packers. And it's pretty much like he just has a vendetta out for them at this point. Like, he knows – it's kind of one of those rivalry things, right? Like, you're always going to want to show up against – maybe a former teammate of yours or a former team, but it's always the same team that he was a rival with for most of his career. So as we get into the second half, like I'm expecting them to keep pounding the rock. I mean, offensively for the Packers, like we haven't really seen them until late in the second half last week, like really establish the run effectively, like we'd like to with Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, AJ Dillon. Maybe that'll happen, but at this point, you got to imagine they're going to have to start getting Devontae Adams the ball more. Not a lot of targets early on in the first quarter. Started getting into his work a little in the second quarter, and had that little ankle injury. Didn't look like much, but it definitely could have been a lot more if he's not as fleet of foot as he is. But any thoughts of yours before we fill up our beverages, take a leak, and get into the second half?
I really do think this first drive coming out here, they're going to make Devontae Adams kind of the focal point. Haven't done that so far. But I got a guy that I'm going to give a little, I don't know if you want to call it a shout out, but I need to step your game up type pep talk here. Andy Herman does a great job for the Packers. He graded Darnell Savage pretty low last week, rightfully so. And yep. Darnell Savage is healthy now. He played well while healthy last year, and he played terrible, frankly, while trying to play injured. But now he's fully healthy. Didn't play the greatest game last week, and there are 2 or 3 plays in this game where I've seen him either overrun the play or completely miss the tackle in general. Seen him make a couple plays as well, but hey, we need consistency back there. Darnell Savage, pick up that play, turn it up a little bit. Amos needs a little help back there in the defensive backfield.
Honestly, I'm a huge Darnell Savage fan. I mean, I know last year was like he would flash, right? And I feel like there was a ton of times where I would all of a sudden they're chasing a play down to the sideline. He just comes flying in past everyone else. And like this year, I know it's early, we're only 6 quarters in, but I feel like he's just been inconsistent. He had the one missed tackle earlier in the game. He was kind of a little bit rough last week. He's a guy I'd like to see to at least make some plays, especially just with those other opportunities, with other, him being, more of an established piece of that defense at this point. Looking for Rashawn Gary to finally impact the game a little bit. Didn't see him. I mean, he's getting more in the flow of the game, I would say, this year compared to last, but I'm waiting for him to blow up, and Zadarius Smith is just all over the place. I expected him to continue to dominate, but I'm hoping. I mean, Darnell Savage is a good one. I think Jair, he hasn't looked like he's been breaking on anything too crazy. I don't know if he's just like he's got them on his heels. They got him on his heels a little bit, but he basically, I mean, I would assume he'd at some point try to make a huge play in this game, and maybe it's Preston Smith. He was very quiet in the first half, but as we progress here towards the second half, 17-14 game, Packers, Lions. My prediction earlier in the year when Ryan Bowman and I were doing our preview show, I believe I had this as a one-score game. It's important to note, 2019 campaign, Packers won both games, but it was only by a combined 4 points. So, I mean, divisional game, it's always probably going to be close. I had a prediction earlier this week. I was going to say the Packers are going to blow out the Lions, but at this point, Adrian Peterson came to Green Bay and just been doing what he's doing. But Schoberg, go fill up your drink. This has been the PWW Halftime Hits. You guys stick with us throughout the rest of the week. Enjoy the rest of the game. Stick with the guys' game on Wisconsin. But any last words for yourself, Schoberg?
Packers are going to win this one 34-28. It's going to stay pretty close throughout. Defenses can't do a whole lot. We'll see what happens here.
Fair. Predictions from Ryan Schoberg in enemy territory within Minneapolis. So I'm Matt Freilich, Ryan Schoberg. You guys enjoy the second half of the game, and go Pack Go.
Now here's the run-up. Swing of the right leg, and we're underway.
Here we go.
You know what time the game starts? All right, here we go, fellas. Let's have a little fun today. Is anybody else tired, or is it just me? I got some advice for y'all. Take 2 weeks off, then quit.
From the goal line to 5 to 10 to 15. Through a hole to the 20, to the 30, outside to the 40. He may be gone. Midfield to the 40, the 30, the 25, 20, the 10, 5, touchdown for